Hi everyone, I'm going to show you a really quick and easy technique with the Stamparatus using the soft Seedlings cling stamp set from the mini catalogue. So autumn's going to be here pretty soon. The weather seems to be changing a little bit, so this is a great technique using the sponge daubers to build up the ink on the stamp. Fabulous stamp. You've got thinking of you, so grateful, for you and hello is the sentiments. This gorgeous sycamore leaf, I would call it. And then you've got the sycamore, what we would call when I was a child, was sycamore flying saucers, we used to call them, because they would spin in the air, as you all know. So first of all, I'm going to show you some cards made using this technique. So this is one of those techniques that came up by accident. I stamped this one, meant to stamp this one on top, and had moved it one square up and one to the side, and then got this effect. So there's one in Rich Raspberry with Cajun Craze, and here's one with Mango Melody and Cherry Cobbler. So I'm actually going to use this time a colour combination of Rich Raspberry, Parakeet Party and Pumpkin Pie, with the Parakeet Party in the centre. So the first thing is to line up your stamp, your piece of cardstock, and you want to do it on the grid so that you know where to move it to once you've stamped the first leaf. So I'm going to start off first of all stamping. I'm going to take my stamp and I want it slightly up to the left because I'm going to move it down a bit to the right. So let me just make sure I've got that in the right place. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to pick that up. I've got a stamp set underneath to make sure I don't put too much stress on the hinge. So there we go, and the first thing I'm going to do, hopefully you can just see what I'm doing here, it'll come back into focus again. Give it a good, this is an old ink pad, give it a good, because you have to press firmer with the old ink pads, and then I'm just going to stamp that down straight away. Give it a good pressure, check, would like a little bit more ink coverage just here, although it will get covered up with the other stamp, but I just want a little bit more coverage there, and that doesn't really, let me just do that once more. I had too much ink at the side, at the edge of the sponge dauber, but I think that will be covered by the other leaf. So now I'm going to move this up one and to the left one and put that back on, and then this is going to stamp just a little bit. In fact, I might just, no, I'm happy with that. I like that. So I'm just going to wipe off the original ink colour, and I'm gradually going to build up the ink. So the first colour I'm going to use is Parakeet Party for the centre. So I'm just going to take my Parakeet Party ink pad, and I'm also going to have the stem this colour as well. So stamp that down, and I want it a bit stronger. So just do that again, and you can build up as many layers of ink as you like. So that's probably enough at the moment, but I might come back to that one. And I'm not going to actually clean off the stamp, but I'm just going to do the pumpkin pie next. And do a bit of pumpkin pie on here. And just see what happens here. And that's not going to show up very much simply because of the other one being underneath. And as I said, I can always come back if I want to. Okay. So I'm just going to do that there. And now I'm going to take the Rich Raspberry and do this all the way around the edge. And I want to build up quite a good colour with this. But I don't want to get rid of the other two colours, so let's see what happens here. And I need it to be stronger. I may end up having to use Blackberry Bliss actually if this doesn't come out strong enough. So this is the lovely thing about this technique. You can, and the Stamparatus is just great, you can alter it as much as you like. So I'm just going to put a little bit more. I'm going to put some more orange on the inside here, because I really would like that to show up orange. And I think because I've got that mark there from the sponge dauber, But I'm going to actually touch up the rich raspberry with a little bit of Blackberry Bliss, particularly around this leaf here. But I don't want to, as I said, get rid of the other colours, so that's a bit better. Doesn't really matter having that mark there. I don't think anybody would really notice it. But what I'm going to do is do a little bit more, orange in the centre here. And in fact, I might be very daring and just do that and see what happens. So a little bit more orange perhaps, and then a little bit of green, a little bit more green on the centre here, and see what happens. That's better, so I'm happy with that. So now this time I'm going to say thinking of you. So I'll put away the Blackberry Bliss and the pumpkin pie, put those back in my stamping rack, and I'm just going to take the thinking of you and just stamp it like that. Should have done it on my Stamparatus. Now this is where it's really useful to have Stamp-and-Write markers, and I keep them at my feet so that when I haven't been using the Stamparatus and I make a mistake like this, I can just grab, and it's going to be my rich raspberry pen, and hopefully with a steady hand and without getting more smudging on it, I can just, I've gone quiet now because I'm concentrating. And now if this doesn't work and if my hand isn't steady enough, I can always resort to stamping it on a scrap of basic white. But I think I might get away with this if I just concentrate. There we go. And I think that's okay if I just get this a bit. There we go. And that says thinking of you. So I want to line it up. I've got a Parakeet Party card base, and then I've got Rich Raspberry, and these two are cut out using the lovely deckled rectangles from the annual catalogue. So I'm actually going to use dimensionals on this one, so it gives it a bit of interest with the layers. So I just put 5 dimensionals on, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. And just, you could pull them off with your take your pick tool. I have got long fingernails, but if you have short fingernails, then you might want to use a take your pick tool. And then I'm just going to use my Stamp and Seal to just put this on the back. There we go. And that's quick and easy. I could have used Tombow, but I decided to use Stamp and Seal. I've cut this one down to 5.5. I think it's 5.5. Let me just check if I've got my ruler. I've cut the card base down to 3 3/4 by 5.5 because the deckled rectangles are made for the American market and their card bases come out at 5.5. So I've just cut a little bit off the end of this one, and there you can see. I think that looks really nice with the Parakeet Party. So really doesn't need much embellishment. I could, I suppose, put some Wink of Stella on just to make the leaf stand out a bit more and to give it a bit of sparkle, which is always good to have some sparkle. Just adds interest to the card. And then obviously if I wanted to, I could put some gems on as well just to catch the eye. I'm just going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella on the little seedlings as well. And there we are, very quick and easy card. So that was made using the Stamparatus. So here's the one with Parakeet Party, Pumpkin Pie, Rich Raspberry. This one's Pumpkin Pie and Rich Raspberry, just 2 colours on that one. And this one is Mango Melody and Cherry Cobbler. So that's hello, for you, and thinking of you. So I hope you have a go and enjoy this fun technique. Great way of using your Stamparatus and building up the shades of colour. So have a great day and see you soon. Bye.